Hello, this is Jer. I'm starting a brand new game of Oxygen Not Included. It is January 17th, 2022. So, of course, I'm going to go into survival mode, start a spaced out DLC game. And unlike the last playthrough where I went through the Trestian cluster, I'm going to go with the Moonlet Cluster and specifically start in the radioactive ocean asteroid. So that is going to be the home base. I'm going to flip through a number of different options until I get metal rich option in my home world and a number of metal options in neighboring planetoids. So I've got, here I am, I'm happy with this. So I'm going to go in there. So this playthrough is going to be different than the last one. So the last playthrough, I just concentrated on getting all achievements. And when I get the last achievement, I considered myself done. In this playthrough, I do want to get all achievements, but it's not going to be the focus. The focus this time is going to be setting up a really good long-term base with an even higher morale, certainly more than the last playthrough. I'm going to support 20 dupes because eventually I'm going to need to get the No Place Like Clone achievement. So I'll get up to 20 dupes at some point to get that achievement, but I also want to maintain the amount of food and oxygen for this 20 dupes. So in this little planetoid and the asteroids that are around it, I'm going to have to get the resources to produce that food and oxygen. Okay, so in addition to that, I'm going to have to pay attention to 3 achievements because if I don't get those early on or concentrate on them, sorry about that, I could fail. The locavore and carnivore, that essentially means I needed 400,000 things of food or calories of food before cycle 100, and they have to be meat. Specifically, it's the carnivore one. And then the super sustainable one means I can't burn coal or natural gas or things like that until you produce a certain amount of power. So this is the most painful process. Thankfully, I'm fast forwarding my actual playthrough because it almost took 20 minutes to do this. But I'm specifically getting a character set together or dupe set together. I want one really good researcher. So I've got a +10 to research and a increased science. I have someone that's just generally good at a lot of things, but they've got the animal lover skill. That's because I'm going to go after the carnivore achievement, and the final one takes forever because I want someone that's going to start off with a skilled metronics, and that is so that I can do some automation very early in this game because you have to get 5 upgrades or skill upgrades to get that one otherwise. And I found this skill several times, but I'm not taking a dupe that has a negative trait I don't like with it, this is what makes it so painful. I don't know if the game purposely does this or I've just been unlucky, but most of the time they tend to have a bottomless stomach. They have that trait. But anyway, this one has a loud sleeper. They have the Metatronics engineering skill. Like I said, that was almost 20 minutes of just going through there. I'm going to call them engineer, rancher, and scientist, respectively. Now I just have to come up with a name. So as I mentioned, we got quick learner, animal lover, and someone that's going to start off with the Metatronics engineering, which is going to be so helpful in getting this initial achievement. And I'll just make sure they sleep for a little bit further away from everyone else. Little moon. No. How about we call this one the Great Moons? Because this base, I already started base with that. Because this base is going to be top of the line when I'm done. It may take a while to get there, but I want to have every type of recreational thing that my dupes can have access to in this game. So let's call it the Great Moons, actually, because I'm going to have multiple of them, or at least I think they're all going to live on one main base. But I'm certainly going to take advantage of the other moons that are around to scrap resources from them to be able to produce enough resources to survive, but also maintain externally high morale. Okay, so we're ready to begin. I'm starting this game with a scouting mission. So what that means is I've saved my game. I'm going to go look around and then reload from the beginning after I've seen what there is to see. So I'm not going to uncover the entire map. But I'm going to dig left, right, up, and down just to check out a few things. First is I'm going to plan the first few rooms. So just getting an idea where to put the latrine and barracks and the dining hall and some of those types of things. So the other is looking for dangers. And the biggest danger that I can think of is going to be hot geysers. I know there's a hot saltwater geyser that, speaking of, there it is. The moment you uncover that thing, it starts outputting hot liquid. So it's good to be aware of that. That's close to the base, but not super close. It's also in an area that I know is cold, so I'm not so concerned. All right, the other thing is I need to decide where this ladder should be, and it shouldn't be here in my mind, because if I can't dig through this obsidian early on, so I'm going to move that to the right, right next to there, and that's going to also allow me to dig down through the teleportation machine as well, or just to the right of it. So if I put the ladder there, I also see a carbon dioxide geyser. That's not going to be useful anytime soon, but nice to know it's there. The final things I want to make sure I have access to teleportation. I have access to all three of them. That's one of the advantages of this small asteroid, is the fact that you have access to that pretty quick. And the last one, it took a little bit longer to get to it. But anyway, I think I've got enough information to go back and start this game off. So I'm going to go load, and let's start it for real. All right, so now you're seeing the actual playthrough of this game. So cycle 1. Here I begin the Moonlet Cluster. So I already chose a spot for my ladder to exist in the scouting mission. But before I begin building the ladder, I'm going to need some materials. So they're digging out some tiles, and then I construct the location where I want the ladder to be. The other thing is I want to dig out some material, some metal ore, in this case aluminum ore that's in the just over there. And the reason for that is because I want to build some doors, because I want to create 2 rooms. I always have the goal on the end of cycle 1, I've got 2 rooms, a barracks and a latrine. So barracks, that's where your cots are, they'll sleep there. The latrine, that's where the outhouses and at least one wash station needs to be, and that's where they'll relieve themselves generally at the end of the day. All right, so talking about the latrine first, that's going to be in the bottom. I generally will build the barracks on the top. They spend more time there, and there'll generally be more oxygen early on in the above area, and the carbon dioxide will pool at the bottom. It's less of a deal to have carbon dioxide in the latrine because they spend a little bit of time relieving themselves, but I don't want them to be having to wake up at night if there's carbon dioxide in the barracks. Okay, so the other thing is if I didn't build outhouses altogether, now they don't have to be in the latrine, but if I didn't have an outhouse, my dupes at the end of the cycle will have a full bladder, giving them a plus 30% per cycle, adding to stress. And then on top of that, they're going to make a mess somewheres that I'll have to get them to clean up, and any dupes that stand on that mess, they're going to get an extra 10% per cycle to stress. So it all goes downhill if I don't have some outhouses for them to use. All right, so let's look at the barracks. I've just built 3 cots. You've noticed I put one further over. That's because one of my dupes, engineer, is a snorer. And I generally don't accept snorers, but I did in this case because they have the Minitronics and the engineering skill. And I'm putting up with it because I really want that particular skill. And I thought, you know what, I'll just make sure that engineer is at least 2 tiles over in their cot from everyone else. Because if they are next to someone, that dupe is going to be dead tired, meaning they get a minus 20% to immunity, minus 2 to science and athletics, and a plus 20 to to stress. So not nice. So it's easily solved as long as I put the who is it again? Engineer. Their engineering Minitronics and engineering skills. So they don't. Or they'll automatically assign themselves a bed. So once that bed is created, I'm going to specifically assign engineer to it, because if I don't, they could grab one of the other beds and keep someone else up at night. So I'm pretty much there. I've got my 2 rooms. I might as well not waste the time. So there I am going to make sure, just double checking that it is engineer that has that trait, the loud sleeper. Yeah, okay. Make sure your loud sleeper, if you have one, is at least 2 tiles away from everyone else. So other than that, I'm just going to do some extra stuff that I might typically do on cycle 2 because I've got the time. The other thing is I'm making sure not to build the beds that are close to the door such that if a shine bug would arrive, they'd get the unrest to bright trait, giving them a plus 10 to stress and minus 10 to immunity. So all these little things that you need to worry about. There's 2 rooms. They also get, because they're in the rooms, I also get a plus 1 to morale for being in each room. Just want to add to that, the shine bug shines light up to 5 tiles away. So in your barracks, the last cot you have towards the door, there should be a cot. You should give 4 tiles before you get to that door. And that way, if you have a shine bug there, you won't have any problem with light. Other than that, I just want to say I'm really excited about the series because this one is far more open-ended. The last one, I'm just concentrating on the achievements themselves, whereas this one I can set up a really cool base and do some neat stuff and then get the achievements along the way. Except for the fact that I am going to have to get the carnivore achievement early on, because if 100 cycles goes by and my dupes don't eat 400,000 calories of meats, I'll never be able to get that achievement again, as well as look at the locavore and super sustainable achievements. But other than that, very excited. And if you're interested in seeing more of this series, give it a like, subscribe, and hopefully see you in a future episode. Till then, Jer signing out.